So, this is a little public assessment of the work I've been doing. So for those of you who don't know, outside of RI4CTV, my main thing is really writing fiction. And I've started getting back into that by focusing on doing nothing but writing fiction every Wednesday. Now, there was a time when fiction and RI4CTV met each other, and that was when I was working on the Kingmaker comic project, which is right now on hiatus, but should come back sooner or later. So, that was probably the most productive I was at fiction in my life, probably even more productive than I was when I wrote and published my first book, Rebellious. Um, so the main reason for that was that once a week, every Wednesday, I would meet with Jerison, and we would write a ton of stuff about Kingmaker Down, just background notes. It got to the point where we started writing like actual scripts for the comics. We got a page of it drawn. We even got an original song produced, which was nice to see. For the comic to promote it. So now I'm doing fiction every Wednesday again, but yeah, the difference between this Wednesday, which was the first Wednesday I went for it, and the Wednesdays back then was sort of how I planned it. So, the main thing was that every Wednesday I'd disclosed all the ideas I had, and Jerison would pretty much be a scribe. And occasionally he would come up with ideas as well, and we'd sort of bounce off each other and make them more interesting. But mainly it would be that after the Wednesday where I disclosed all the ideas, the rest of that week, aside from obvious things I had to do like school and such, and RI4CTV work outside of Kingmaker, I would be thinking of all the stuff that we should plan until the Wednesday next week came. So every week I'd be thinking of more and more ideas and building one layer on top of another of the story. So I'd say that that's the process I should adopt for this Wednesday, for these coming Wednesdays, since last Wednesday was probably like bad Kingmaker Day. I'd say there was one time, one day that Jairus and I worked on Kingmaker where we were this productive. It was one bad day in a pool of good work days on this, so it wasn't too much of a drawback. But yeah, I think I should adopt that method again. Nick even said to me, he was like, "That's the best you've ever worked on any project in your life. Like, you should be running the your entire life the way you were running the Kingmaker comic project." So yeah, this is a little public note, and I guess on record promise to myself of how I'll be going forward.